Welcome back to the shop. Today just a quick video on the Harbor Freight Central Forge 55-pound cast iron anvil. So I see all over the internet people wanting to get into forging, wondering if this is a viable option. Now it is relatively cheap. If I remember correctly, it's between $65 and $75 from Harbor Freight. So it is very cheap, all things considered. Now, how good is it? Well, now the problem is this is not quite a real anvil. It's just basically a big shape of cast iron that resembles an anvil. Now, it is very soft. It mars very easy. I've had this thing for about almost 10 months now, and I've been using it almost every day, usually 3 to 4 times a week minimum. Now, it has no rebound whatsoever. None. So when you have some hot steel on here and you're beating at it trying to shape it, what is actually happening, because there's no rebound, your hammer has rebound. It has no rebound, so it's actually absorbing a lot of the impact when you're hammering that steel. So what that means is you actually have to swing that hammer harder, and it will take you much longer to achieve the drawing out, the shaping, the upsetting, whatever you're doing with your steel, than a proper anvil with a hardened face. I mean, I'm sure you've all seen me in the railroad spike series I did and the little whittling knife series I did, where my steel is hot as heck, and I'm swinging a 4-pound crossbeam against it on this thing, and it's just moving slow as heck. And that's just because it's absorbing most of my strikes. Most of the energy is not going where I want it to. Whereas if this face was hardened, you have your steel and you hit it, your energy goes into the steel and the anvil bounces it back at the steel too, so you can get a lot more work done with a proper anvil. Now, would I recommend it to people just starting out? Yeah, I probably would, because it's going to be easy to find. Who doesn't have a Harbor Freight near them? And they have an online store and you can order it there. Will you be able to use it forever? No. You're going to get sick of it. You got to swing the hammer as hard as you can. You're going to have to use heavier hammers to get the same amount of work done than with a proper anvil. And it likes to mar. Even hot steel, if you're hitting hot steel, I've marred the surface constantly, and I'm always sanding it back off, trying to smooth it off again, because the more mars you have in your anvil face, they're going to transfer into the steel you're working. Alright, but there are some things I like about the anvil, and that it does have 4 holes on the feet, I guess you'd call it, of the anvil. So I was able to lag bolt them down to a fairly good size hickory stump. And it has a 3/4 inch square hardy hole, which is handy because then you can make yourself little tools, like this little mini spring swage I made. And it holds it just fine. But, it has, my little toolings have slowly started to chew away the hardy hole, but that's to be expected. Now, if you have the money for a proper anvil, I would definitely go with that. But now, me, like most other people, I don't have $500 spare dollars to just go out and buy a proper anvil. So, if you have the money for a proper anvil that's hardened and tempered, I would go buy one. I would buy it in a heartbeat. If you don't, this is going to be a better option than a railroad track anvil you see sometimes, because that railroad track is going to be a lot harder to find than just heading down to your local Harbor Freight, shelling out about $75, and you got something that you can beat steel against. So overall, if you absolutely have to get it, it's not ideal, but you can make do with it. If you have the money, get yourself a real anvil. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.